I don't want to use this one. There's like a shortcut to like consolidate this fast, right? I don't even remember. Control G. Clutch. Let's try to flip this into another loop real quick. So what we're gonna do to flip it is chop in bars, and then actually they should incorporate the piano roll tools on playlist. That would be clutch. Let's do this. Every 8 bars we're gonna cut it right. Then we're going to do this, and then we're gonna duplicate it like this, and then go like this. Okay, then this part. Oh, first off we have to slide everything over. I want it to go faster actually, so we're gonna go. No, I'm gonna slow it down. And I'm gonna pitch it down a lot too. Let's kind of change the texture of it, so I'm gonna take out. That's sweet. And then I think that's the loop. Just loop it back. This part is sweet. I'm gonna pitch this one up again. Would y'all rather get small loop packs weekly or a bigger one monthly? Me, I like both. I like getting a big folder and then small folders in between, and then a big folder. Control Shift R to export as an MP3 file. I use that every day. Sometimes I just do Control R and then change it to MP3. It's a nice texture. I like to have a nice texture to build around. I love making these beautiful textures and then just filling everything around it. It's like kind of like looking for one really good ingredient for a meal and then using that as the main component, but like not making it overpower everything. Melody making tips: you avoid using loops because you feel like you're cutting corners. Well, I feel like when I'm stubborn and I don't want to cut corners, I like what I make less. So when I do cut corners, like right now, I'm using, royalty-free loops inside of EST. I try to flex my creativity muscles to make something that sounds original and new, and then have that be as a good starting point, and then build around it. I just prefer doing this so much more than if I'm going to use a loop. Like when I'm making something like a melody from scratch, I like doing it like that the most. You want to make melodies from scratch all the time, but you don't really like it. Me personally, in my experience, I don't like melodies all the time that sound super just like piano roll vibes. It just sounds like you can kind of hear in your head all the notes that were played exactly how they were played. I find that the melodies that I don't really know how they're made, those ones do more for me when I'm listening to them back. I'm like, ooh, nice. I don't know how that was made. Like, that sounds really cool. And I don't like spending the time doing that on every single beat, because when you're making beats around other people, they don't always sit there and want to trust the process for that. And nor do I even want to do that when I'm making a beat, because my workflow, I don't like to stay on the same beat for like an hour. I don't mind working on a beat for 30 minutes, but an hour on one beat just feels like it's just my attention span. Nothing wrong with that. It's just it's my current condition. So what I like doing is spending time to make a bunch of melodies on their own that have unique characteristics, and then throwing those in beats later. So on the fly, I just have stuff that already has a lot of detail and attention in it. It's like, I feel like the more time you spend on a beat, the better you can make it sound, of course. So if I spend 30 minutes on a melody one day, another day when I go to make a beat and I want to spend 5 minutes, I technically spent 35 minutes on that beat, but it was just at different times. And then I can use that same 35-minute or that same 30-minute loop it took me to make another beat. And therefore, you're kind of like duplicating your time value into something. It's like using an ingredient multiple times, and since it's digital and you can flip it, you don't run out of the loop, so you can just keep using it and keep putting more time into your beats without using more time. Piplup is the best starter? It's debatable. I don't really use the 1.5 option too often. Let's try this. Just see where it goes. I'm not really feeling it the most, but I think we could have some sort of starter. I might scrap this. I put it through Melodyne, see if we can sort of extract any notes from it. Okay, that actually worked pretty well. We got some better chords out of doing it like that. I feel like this might need like in-your-face type of synths to sort of balance. Like this stuff is already kind of ambient, so I don't want to mask it with more ambient stuff. I want to try something like dry sounding. Maybe do like this. Or start it over here. I don't hear it starting again on the one over here. It's just, or maybe it's over here. Yeah. That's why Shaperbox is good sometimes, because in Shaperbox you can do like longer patterns than gross beat. So you could set this to volume, right? And then you would do 1 bar. You could set it to 2 bars. And I kind of want to make a texture right now in the background. So right now I like the notes I'm putting down, but I'm not sold on like the placement of the notes. The placement of the notes, I don't care like how perfect, like the right place they're in right now. That's not important to me. I just need like an 80% good vibe, right? And then I'll make the placement and the positioning with the notes. That's what I'll use the mixer for. Sometimes I like using the mixer to determine where I have it playing, or I'll slide it after. But when I'm putting down the notes, I like to have a general, just good counter melody that it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something that, you know, I like. I'm gonna make a mixer preset for this. So let's open up Patcher, and then let's add VST. We're gonna affect the highs in one part, and we're gonna affect the lows in another part. What do I mean by that? I want this part of the melody, this melody, to sound different than this part of the melody. So let's start with the lower part. So for the lower part, I kind of want like a fast distortion, or I kind of want like a crunchiness to it. So I can use Effector, Lo-Fi. Am I hearing anything? Okay, so it looks like I didn't even put it on. So it has to be on the yellow circles. And then on the high one, I want to put gross beat just on the high half. Let's add 2 gross beats. And then this other gross beat, we're going to do a different pattern. What Patcher does is connect different plugins so you don't use the mixer effects channels. Yes. How the mixer sorry, I'm talking really loud. Sorry. How the mixer inserts work is you put a plugin here, and then whatever is here is affecting what's on the insert. So you make a melody and you put it into insert 2. Insert 2 is then playing insert 2 and then the first plugin. And then the second plugin is playing affected everything before it. And then the next plugin is playing everything before it. So each thing you put on here, it stacks up. So the lowest slot is basically affecting whatever's above it, like whatever's before it. So the cool thing about Patcher is you can split up your sound into multiple routes. Like I set up 2 signals. One, I split the sample into 2 here. Like here's a high end part. I only want to affect the frequencies between like 400 and 20,000. And then here I'm like, okay, I only want to affect, 200 to 1,000 vibes. And then everything that's under, it's like affected by this. And then everything that's above is affected by this. But then they meet back together over here, and then it's affecting all of this. So you can think of this as one mixer track, and this is 1, 2, 3 slots. Then this is another mixer track, 1, 2 slots. And then they're connected to another chain that this is the slot 1 on the next chain. This is slot 2, slot 3, and then slot 4. And then this is the master FL Studio knob. And then that's all on slot 1. That's the cool thing about Patcher. You can put a bunch of plugins and save it in here, and it saves it all together.